All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Really late, but there's so many videos that I gotta do. I still gotta catch up on a few fights from this past weekend. I know I spoke on a majority of these fights on the live coverage that I did, okay, because I was covering the fight card live, but I still want to be able to talk, and separate each topic in different videos. So let's start out with Dillian Whyte. First of all, congratulations to him. He's been cleared by UKAD. All right, they've withdrawn all charges made. Okay, the sample was contaminated, and this is no longer a thing. It's over. He's cleared. He's completely cleared. It's over. It's done. Okay, I spoke on this during the live video, and people were saying that he was juicing and stuff like that. Listen, the man has been cleared. Let's move on from it. Okay, he's been cleared. That's that. This is the kind of thing that happens all the time behind the scenes. It's just that one reporter put the news out there while the investigation was still going on behind the scenes. It didn't get to a level where it needed to get put out there. Okay, he's been officially cleared. So hopefully the WBC can give him back his number one rank status, his mandatory status, and hopefully he gets his title shot soon. Okay, I did a video earlier this year, maybe around the time when he was fighting Oscar Rivas, and broke down the whole WBC situation and how they've been continuously been putting people, losing fighters above him and giving them opportunities to fight for a title in the past 3-4 years. Okay, I broke that down. Um, he's been he's been number one for a while now. Over a couple years now. Okay, probably over a couple of years. I know before, around when I know earlier this year it was something like 600 days or something like that. But now it's far past that. We're past a couple years since he's been ranked number one. I don't believe Dominic Brazil should have gotten a opportunity to fight Wilder before him. I don't think Ortiz should have had a rematch over him. Okay, I don't even believe that Tyson Fury should have got a fight before him. Even though Tyson Fury was a lineal champ, he was coming off a 2.5 year layoff or something like that. And when the rematch came down, the WBC made Fury the mandatory for the rematch, and Fury turned it down. So I think Dillian Whyte has been treated unfairly by the WBC. Um, and I already gave details about why and broke it down in the video. Okay. If you can, maybe I'll put it in the link of the bio. But if you are into hearing that, I will post the link to that video. It's something with Wilder, Dillian Whyte, and the WBC. Maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. All right. All right. So anyway, let's talk about the fight with Marius Wach. And what I said, I did talk about the fight before the fight, and I said Dillian looks overweight, but I still believe that on his very worst day, he should still be able to pull off a win against Marius Wach. And that's what he did. Okay. I'm not gonna go too hard on him and his performance and his physique. He was clearly out of shape. He was fat. He was the heaviest he's ever been in his career. Okay, this is the worst he's ever looked in his career. But I don't go hard. I'm not gonna go hard on him because I understand what he was going through. I know that stress can put you in places mentally, physically. Okay, it could do things to you when you're stressed out like that. Um, when your career is on the line, just like that, when you've been having a great career and everything you almost lose everything just that quickly. Because if he was found guilty, he might have been suspended for another couple of years, right in the very prime of his career. And that could be very stressful. So he stayed in the dark for a while. I'm sure he gained, obviously he gained weight. And I'm sure it was pretty much a last minute thing to add him to this card. Okay, so I'm not gonna bash him too hard. I understand why he gained weight, and he said this in the interview. But we already assumed that. You guys was here watching the coverage, and I addressed all of these things. So he won the fight, but luckily for him, fortunately for him, this was a Wach that's past his prime. And Wach has lost all of his big fights, but Wach gave him a real fight, a fight that Dillian Whyte, I'm sure Dillian wasn't really there to go toe to toe and battle, have a real tough battle with Marius Wach. The best of Dillian Whyte, anywhere near, even if he was half himself, he would have done better any other day. But this was definitely his worst day. Okay, his worst fight, his worst performance. So now that he's cleared, uh, get back in shape, Dillian. You're not going to get the Wilder fight now because Wilder is going to be fighting Fury. Okay. After that fight, I don't know if we're going to get a third Fury fight. I don't know if we're going to get an undisputed fight. I don't really know. AJ has things to do now that he has his titles back. He has mandatory obligations to fill. Wilder has his rematch with Fury. So I don't think his next fight should be a, a top 10 fighter. I think he needs to work on getting in shape because even though he didn't fight that long ago, the fact that he came back and looked that poor, he should have another fight against a better opponent, but maybe not a top 10 opponent. Because Marius Wach to me is like a top 50 opponent. So let's get him back in there in shape. Get back in there. Hopefully, after your next fight, maybe we can get some sort of title fight. Maybe. I personally don't believe that he's going to get another title fight this year, you know, but he should be able to get a big fight maybe by the summer or by the fall. Let me say by the fall. Okay, so we'll see what happens. I know he said in an interview he wants his rematch with Joshua. I think that rematch will happen someday, but Joshua has his own obligations, and I don't know if an undisputed fight is going to happen. I hope it does, but I just don't see Dillian getting a title fight this year from neither Joshua or Wilder. I just don't see it. So he needs to focus on just getting it back together, getting yourself back together. You are still one of the best fighters at heavyweight division. You have one of the best top three, top four resumes in the division, without a doubt. All right. Um, and that's it. That's all I gotta really say. Get back into it. You didn't look good here, but I understand why. I feel you. But I am happy for you. Okay, I was one of the people that was neutral. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be like one of these guys like, yeah, I knew he was innocent, but I wasn't trashing you neither. When the news came out, I thought it was suspicious. The videos are still up. I don't remove my videos. I don't put them on private. I was neutral. I thought it was a little weird and strange that there wasn't any details when the news first came out. But at the same time, I wasn't going to sit here and say that you were clean just because I believe you're clean. You know, I was more like in the middle of like, let's wait and see what happens with this. That's where I stood. I heard his interview saying like anyone that didn't believe me or bash me, listen, I get, F them. I get how you feel. I get how I feel. You say you're innocent, you know you're innocent. News come out and people start thinking you're guilty. But most people that do choose, 95% of the time, they all say they're innocent. They all say it. So you can't get mad at people for thinking that the rumors or the news might be true. At the same time, and I said this back then, us YouTubers, the new media, whoever, we have to do a little bit better when we're jumping on these news. Okay, because we get all these news for these major media sites, and every once in a while they're wrong too. We got to remember that these guys want to get the news out first, and I think that's what happened with Townhauser, who was the journalist that put this news out. Some of these people want to get the news out first, and they jumped the gun, and that's what happened, and everybody jumped on it. Now you have, I'm not talking about the fanboys, the people with agendas and stuff like that. I'm not talking about them. They're gonna go their way because maybe they're a PBC fan and they just want to support Wilder and be against Dillian Whyte. I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about normal people that thought you was juicing based on the report alone. Okay, so it is what it is. I like to wait around, and that's what I did. I spoke on it. I said my piece. I was upset when I heard it, but then I thought about it and said, all right, let's wait and see how this plays out. And that's it. All right. So I'm glad you cleared. I look forward to seeing you fight again in 2020 and get back in shape. Work on that. All right. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll see you guys on the next one.